Hey guys, Bobby Hughes here with Heritage Pride Custom Firearms and the Heritage Pride Homestead, and back to bring you a 5-day update on the hydroponic rail strawberries. You can see them going back here in the back, and the last update was like a 24-hour update, and I had told you about the pump, one of the lines coming loose and leaking, and some other stuff. So we ended up putting the drip emitters. They're 2-gallon-an-hour drip emitters. Now we're not pushing 2 gallons an hour through the system or to each plant, but the drip emitters are working really good to help kind of regulate the pressure, as well as keeping the water from running back down the tubing and then running out. So they're working really good for that, which is really cool. That was kind of a pain in the butt dealing with that. So we added those, and I ended up changing out the pump. You know, I told you in the 24-hour video that we ended up ordering another pump. So it came, and I've had it running now for 48 hours. And it's doing great. It's way bigger than what I need, but it'll be great to have if I decide to expand on the rail system that we have here. It's a 6,000 liter an hour pump. And it's got a crazy amount of lift. I think its max head's like 11 feet, so it's more than enough pump for what we're doing. I've got it actually, it comes with a little programmer, and I've got it turned all the way down right now, so it's working out really good. And it's nice to know that it's not maxed out, that if I need more, I've got it, so it's pretty cool. We're getting a little bit of rain finally. We've been all week with no rain, and I depleted my rain barrels out last, Monday on Memorial Day. Depleted those out and in hoping for some rain, and we hadn't gotten any, and now it looks like we're going to get a little bit. The forecast is showing some rain for the next few days. So that's good. We'll be getting some fresh, clean rainwater. You probably hear it. I've got my pump running in the background, cycling through the 100-gallon tank, just trying to make sure it's good and clean, because we're getting ready to change out our water in the hydroponic sump tank. Now, you don't have to do it every 5 days. It's not something that's necessary. I'm doing it now because I've been doing some research on algae growth and that slime that you get in the system. And this one right now, it needs to be clean because there's nothing in it. And I've not put any fertilizer or nothing. It's just strictly water. I've just been running it through there. But what we're going to be doing is actually using 3% hydrogen peroxide. And I've got a little article that I found online that talks about the benefits of using hydrogen peroxide for your hydroponic system. So I'm going to be using that to help clear up the water and keep the algae out. I guess a lot of times with the system, when the water is above 73 degrees is when algae and bacteria growth sets in. So with the hydroponic system, we don't want bacteria. In an aquaponic system, we want the bacteria, the good bacteria from the fish for the plants. But in a hydroponic system, we don't want any bacteria because it makes a mess. So we're going to be using the hydrogen peroxide. I'm also going to add another air stone to the mix to add some more oxygen. And the trick is apparently to keep the oxygen level super high in the water, and that'll keep the algae and the sludge and the slime from growing and the bacteria from growing in your hydroponic system. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to use our pump, our handy little pump. I did a video on that. If you've not seen that and you're in the market for a pump, check out the clip. Actually, it's over here. Check out the suggested video. I'll put it in here. It's an awesome little pump. We're going to use that, pump the water out of the system. I'm going to put it in a barrel so that we can reuse it, repurpose it for the soil beds, the raised bed gardens, and not waste the good water. So we're going to clean the tank out real good, put some more water back in it, some fresh clean rainwater back in it, and then we're going to add our peroxide, and we're going to add our nutrients to the mix, and see if we can't get some results. I'll show you a contrast on our test for the hydroponic start of the crowns versus the soil start. The hydroponic starts are doing really great, and the soil not so much. So already with no nutrients, water just directly to the roots is impressive. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I just shut the pump and the air pump down as well. And you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but there's a thin layer of just like slick, sludgy stuff. It's really not bad. I'm probably making it out to be worse than what it is. But it's a little bit of sludginess in the bottom of our tank. And you can also see it on the tubes here. It's on the outside there. It's like really thick soap scum. It's really gross. So anyway, what I'm going to do while the water's in here, I'm just going to, using the water that's in here, I'm going to use this brush here. This brush is clean. There's no soap or anything like that in it. I'm just going to scrub everything, kind of clean it up a little bit, try to get some of that grossness off of there, off of this tube, if I can get it off. Set it up out of the way here. Do this one. I'm just going to take my brush and go down inside the tank here and just get all this stirred up. Just do all the sides and the bottom. Just go over it with the brush. Kind of clean it all up, knock it all loose. Water temperature is staying pretty consistent during the day at about 80 to 82 degrees, and we're getting up to about 100 and between 115 and 120 inside the greenhouse every day. So I think having the tank bigger than what it needs to be, and especially down below the ground, is really helping out a lot too. I think that's really helping keep the temperature down. But like just feeling it right now, being it down in the water, it's really cool actually. It's nice and cool. All right, now I've got this nifty little thing here that came with the pump, but there's a lot of chunks in here that I don't think will suck up through this. So I think I'm just going to do it manually with just the end of the hose here, and that way I can kind of suck up a lot of that big stuff out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and kick our pump on. I've got our filter system disconnected, so we're just pumping straight through the pump to get all the, there's no sense in filtering water we're going to put in the garden. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it on now, and we'll get it cleaned out. And there we go. Got it all sucked out, scrubbed out, cleaned out, emptied out, all the outs. And it looks pretty good. It's not slick anymore. There's no grime or sludge. So using the little brush on it and then sucking it out, I ended up, like you saw, I ended up using the little thing once I started getting down low enough. I kind of took the regular hose and got the big chunks out there at the beginning, and then just set this down in the bottom and let it draw everything from the bottom, and just kind of like you clean out a bathtub, just kind of pushed it all into the center and let it suck it out. So it did a really good job at accomplishing that. Can't say enough about this awesome little pump. It rocks. So anyway, now we need to hook our pump up to our water storage tank and bring in some fresh clean water. And that water I will run through my carbon filter. I'll hook the filter back in, and we'll run the fresh clean water in through the carbon filter. Alright, so when I'm refilling this now, since I'm using I'm going to be putting the nutrients in. I'm going to be putting the peroxide in the system and things like that. I need to kind of have a rough idea of how much water I've got in my system. And the best way for me to do that with a big tank like this is with a bucket. Now this is a 5-gallon bucket, and so if I fill this bucket up, that's 5 gallons, I'll just count how many I actually put in the system, and then that way I know kind of where I need to be with my peroxide dosage and also with my nutrient dosage. Alright guys, so like I said earlier, I'm going to go ahead and add some more air to our system. And I actually, when I purchased my air stones, I ended up buying 10 of them. Accidentally, actually. I was on eBay and I saw the picture of one air stone, and I clicked and ordered it, and they sent me 10 of them. So I've got 10 of these 4-inch air stones. I'll never use all these. These last for a really long time. And I've got so many of them. So to make things simple, on my my outlets for the air pump, I've got 6 ports on the thing, or 8 ports. 2, 4, 6. Got 6 ports, and I've got 2 hooked up, and then I've got the other one's daisy chain. So just to make it easier on me, I'm just going to take one of these daisy chains off. Take one of these daisy chains off and just add 2 more air stones to it, and then that way I'm not having to build a plug, make a plug for the other port or anything like that. So I've got the air stones. Is it overkill? Probably, but it is what it is. So the way, my understanding, and if you know different, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is you can't have too much oxygen in your system. So that's my understanding of it. Like I said, I don't know it all, so I am going to go ahead and put 4 in my system. Now, we shouldn't have any problems with oxygenation in our system, that's for sure. Alright guys, so we're ready to add our peroxide to the to our system, and I'm going to source this this site that I'm reading this information on. It's actually modularhydro.com, and I'll put the link in the description below. But I just want to read you some of these some of this information. Like I said before, if your reservoir is above 72 degrees, that's when that's the temperature in which the viruses, fungi, and anaerobic bacteria grow, or it encourages the growth of it. So adding the hydrogen peroxide and hopefully the additional oxygenation via the air pump with the air stones, we know that, or we hope that that will eliminate the growth of those things. And so with the thermometer that I'm using, our water stays about 80s, in the 80s usually. We'll just say low to high 80s depending on the time of day. there's a lot of other things that it's good for. It counteracts the chlorine in tap water. Well water may be high in methane and organic sulfates, and it'll remove both of those. The peroxide will remove both of those. It also helps to eliminate existing infections and prevent future ones. It will prevent bacterial wilt, and then some stuff that I can't pronounce, fungi. And then it says, not only is oxygen a major component of the plant structure itself and one of the main elemental nutrients the plant feeds upon, it also performs many important functions within the plant, participating in all metabolic processes. Adding H2O2 will provide extra oxygen to help with all these functions, including assist in the oxygenation, there you go, of metallic elements to make them available for plant use, helps stimulate protein production at cellular level, enhancing photosynthesis, helps break down the carbohydrates created through photosynthesis, increases root zone activity, getting more nutrients to the plant, promotes more plant vigor, produces bushier, thicker stems, increases seed germination, increases survival of cuttings, and cleans and disinfects the system, resulting in less disease. So it's great, and this article is really long. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. You can go to it and check it out. It's really awesome. I never thought of using peroxide for this stuff, but man, it's just so much stuff. So I know you guys are all thinking, all right, that's all cool, I don't care, I just want to know how much to put in the system. So it says 3% hydrogen peroxide may be added at up to 3 milliliters per liter. And for us Americans, that's 2.5 teaspoons per gallon. Now if you read on through there, it says that you shouldn't start with 2.5 teaspoons per gallon, that you should slowly work into it. So we're going to start with 1 teaspoon per gallon. 1 teaspoon is 0.16 ounces, or 1/6 of an ounce, and we've got about 22 gallons in our system, so that's about 3.6 ounces of peroxide that we need to add to it. But we're actually going to go with something like 3.5 just to play it safe. So let's go ahead and get that added in. Alright, so peroxide is in, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the air pump now. And I'm going to let it run for a little while, just before I turn the pump back on to start pumping back into the plants. And everything that I read on that article said we need to let it sit in the water for about 30 minutes before we check any pH balances, or before we do any nutrients or anything like that, so that it gives the peroxide time to you know, evenly distribute in the water and all that good stuff. So we'll let it run like this for about 30 minutes, and then we should be good to go. And since we're going to wait, I will probably just do another video on pH testing and nutrients. So we'll just do that in another segment. So here's our little before and after thing. The back ones, remember, were the plants that had already sprouted, that I had sprouted in soil. And those have already probably doubled in size since we started just water, no nutrients. And then the front 2 rows here were the crowns. And just looking here, this one here, not looking so hot. I don't see any sprouting on it. This one does have some sprouts down in there. that just haven't came through yet. This one is sprouted. This one's got a little sprout going down there. Got some pretty good sprouts there. This one I think is getting ready to sprout. That one, I don't see any sprouts in it yet. That one's sprouting. All of these are sprouting. So this one here is already getting some leaves on it. Same with this one. As well as this one here. This is probably the best one out of all of them. And then these two here, this one and this one, were the ones that were in the dirt originally that hadn't sprouted, and I put them in there as an experiment to see if they would sprout. And we're not having any luck there yet. So those root systems might not produce anything. Now over here in our soil, we went ahead and put the leftover crowns in. The back 9 are the newer crowns. The front 9 are the leftovers from the original batch. You can see the front ones still aren't sprouting. I doubt they will. But these back here, we've got a little bit of green coming through there. That one there is sprouting. Looks like this one here is about to start. So we may end up having a few here that we can replace the ones in the hydroponic system with, for the ones that didn't sprout. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes our 5-day update video. You know, you can see some real progress already just by using water, and just want to show you the difference between our crown starts in the dirt versus here, and then also talk about our maintenance, and then as well as a little bit of information on bringing in the hydrogen peroxide for to help oxygenate the system better. And so I'm curious to see you know, how the oxygen or how the peroxide will actually help out. Peroxide is so super cheap. It's really awesome how cheap it is, and if it's a great additive for it, then that's awesome. So cool find there, I think. Like I said, I'll put the link to the article in the comments below so that you guys can look it up and read for yourself and kind of see the same thing I'm seeing. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and pop them in the comments section below, and don't forget to check out the suggested videos, as well as check out our support page. Another thing I have started, and I'm going to bring it up in a separate video, is the Heritage Pride Marketplace. And the Heritage Pride Marketplace is a place where you can go and buy the products that I'm using through Amazon, and I have them set up as categories for video specific things. So for instance, if you want any of the products that I've used for my hydroponic rail series, you can go to the marketplace, and you can click on the category over on the left for the hydroponic rail system build. And when that opens up, it will have every single thing I've used for the hydroponic system in this series, except for the PVC pipe and lumber. Everything else is on there. The net cups, the grow media, the pumps, the sump tank, everything, the uniseals, everything is on there that you would need to build the exact same system I have, except for your PVC pipe, PVC fittings, and lumber to build your stand with. So like I said, I'll bring it up in another video to kind of touch on it a little bit better and explain how it's going to work. But I just wanted to let you know that if you're in search of one of those things, then you can find it directly on the marketplace. Now, the price on my marketplace is the same exact price you would buy it for on Amazon. As a matter of fact, when you check out, use Amazon. It's an Amazon cart. So the only difference is I make a little bit of profit on the products if you buy them through my marketplace store. So if you would please, if you're going to go on Amazon and purchase the items, please do do so through the link in the description below for the Heritage Pride Marketplace. So anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for this video, I think. Don't forget to rate and also click the little icon there to subscribe. Until next time, get out there, shoot some guns, be safe, and most importantly, have fun. See you guys later.